Hello again to the Communist Hour. I apologize to the abrupt end of my last video. But what I'd like to kind of touch base on is corruption, especially today's politicians. It's ridiculous. I mean, these guys go up there and all they do is sling a bunch of bullshit. I want to help the taxpayers. I want to lower taxes. Yada yada yada. Now, half the time, you don't even know what the hell these people are talking about. You have to have a degree to understand what the hell these people are saying. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. It makes me wonder, why do we appoint these people to these offices? I mean, obviously, they have no idea what they're doing, because when you ask them their definitions of what they're talking about, they don't even know what they're saying. It's craziness. Seriously. Why would somebody go up there and sling a bunch of bullshit that nobody knows what they're talking about? They don't even know what they're talking about. They're just up there trying to gain your favor so that they can hopefully appoint an office one day and gain a few extra dollars on their paycheck. But mostly, what disheartens me the most is that these people are appointed these offices. They make these wild claims, and yet they don't do anything about it. They sit in their office collecting their paychecks. Now, honestly, if I could sit in an office and claim a paycheck, that'd be great. I'd be content for the rest of my life just sitting on my ass, doing nothing, filling out some paperwork, just to gain a few $100,000 a year. Which, by the way, most politicians make over $100,000 a year. Just to sit down. That's half of what they do. They sit down and fill out paperwork. Half of the paperwork is on basic things, too. Stuff that we do at home. It's just, I can't wrap my mind around it. I defy anybody to hardly wrap their mind around it, to understand what's going on. And all of it is due to the almighty dollar. That's why they do what they do. That's why they go to college for this sort of thing. It's for the almighty dollar. Well, I suppose I should make this video a little bit funny. What say you? Alrighty then, let's get down to it. Two priests walk into a bar. One priest says to the other one, "Hey, isn't it a sin to drink?" And the other priest turns to him and says, "I swear to Christ, I'm only halfway drunk." The other priest says, "Brother, you know it's a sin to take the Lord's name in vain." And at that time, police come in. And the sober one, not realizing he's slurring, because he's obviously not sober, says to the officer, "I swear to drunk, I'm not God." I know that was a terrible joke. I totally chopped that one up, but anyway. I'm not meant to be funny. I'm a very serious political activist. Well, not entirely serious. Gotta have fun every now and then, otherwise, what's the point in life? Getting back to the topic of being the mass communists. Obamacare has recently added in a new chapter, which is supposed to assist the elderly with medical needs, such as prescription drugs and home care. They're giving an incentive for people to go into the medical field, um, particularly like registered nurse and things like that, to assist the elderly. And yet half of America can't find funding for education. He put out this big incentive for elderly care. Now putting a whole new form on it, trying to make it better. And yet 90% of America can't get into school for several reasons. The entry exams have content on them that nobody knows, except for maybe a high school student fresh out of high school in a four-star district. And by the way, most people don't know this, but schools throughout the regions are rated on a star system from 1 to 4, 4 being the hardest to graduate. Essentially, they're telling these people, you can make twice as much, you can get incentives from Obamacare for going to school and gaining your RN certificate, but yet the FAFSA half of the time won't even accept giving financial student aid to students out there. That's crazy. You want people to go to school, you want them to get the education that they need, but yet you won't provide it. Nobody provides it. It's pathetic. Unless you're born into a rich family, much like communist China, unless you're born into a rich family, you will never see education. You will never see a greater job than what your father had. It's the same way in China. If your father was a company executive, there's a very good possibility you'll get the education, you'll get the training, and you'll get everything you need to become a corporate executive. Now, to me, the system we have now seems like the worst examples of communism. Yet we're a democratic government. It's craziness. You know, there's so many incentives out there to go and do it, but there's no way to go and do it. I mean, honestly, it's like Elmer Fudd out in the woods with Bugs Bunny. It's like, I'll get you, you wascally wabbit. But yet he never does. The rabbit has more education than he does. Because the rabbit is smart enough to figure out, well, if I stick my finger in the end of his shotgun, it's going to poof open into some kind of flowery design and blast back in his face. Most people don't have the ability to stick their finger into the shotgun to finally realize what their full potential can be. And that's why I am the masked communist. Is simply because I want people to realize the sheer benefit of a utopian communist society. These things would be offered to you for free. Why would you have to pay to help others? You have to pay for everything in this world. I mean, there's so much pain and suffering in the world already. It makes no sense why we can't offer these things and become a greater, more evolved mankind. Simply what's holding us back is the fact that we're not being allowed to progress because we're holding on to things from our past. Haven't psychologists been telling their patients for decades now they need to let go of childish things and bad experiences from their past in order to progress in their therapy? It's kind of a jackassery when they come about and say this. I believe the proper terminology actually oxymoron, but we're not being allowed to progress. And yet, psychologists have the gall to come out and tell their patients, you have to let go of these things. When our society won't let go of things from our past, we don't allow ourselves to progress. We hold on to these ridiculous fixations. Well, my second airing of the Mass Communist is almost at a close. I'd like to end in a joke. It's definitely going to be a better one this time. Okay. Why does a bald man cut the bottom out of his pockets so he can run his fingers through his hair? Alright now. I hope that this episode has been enlightening. And I hope you tune back in. See more of the Masked Communist. And hopefully have some better jokes for you next time. Alright. Have a pleasant day, and good night.